Remember Samsung? You know, that company that makes smartphones on Android? You know, they sometimes made tablets and watches and stuff. Remember them? Gosh, it seems like such a long time ago since they've released something. I guess technically they've released a couple of things lately, but you wouldn't really know it, judging by all of the news that's being covered by Tech YouTube. I mean, listen, Tech YouTube covers whatever people are interested in, and the views right now are with Apple, because Apple's making all types of noises. So the question is, what's going on with Samsung? And a lot of you have asked me lately why I'm not covering more Android stuff, or Samsung stuff in particular. And mainly it's because of this very reason. What are they even doing? Well, we'll talk about everything they've been doing lately and what they're hopefully doing later this year, right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below, but for now, let's just get into the video. Now, as I said in the intro of the video, I don't know where Samsung's been. They, have released the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro and 360 and whatever the heck, but those are basically Windows laptops, basically. And the thing is, like, they're kind of cool. They do some interesting things, but you didn't really hear a lot about them. They had their little release, the video live stream. People talked a little bit about them. There's been a couple reviews here and there, and that's about it. Conversely, for Apple, even after the iPhone 12 was released, there's just been a general buzz the entire time. And really, after January, once the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra was released in the S21 line of phones, there wasn't really a lot to talk about on the Samsung side of things. There are a little bit of drips and drabs here of information about Samsung, but not a lot to sink your teeth into. And for me personally, listen, I used to be a Galaxy Note owner, as I've said a billion times on this channel. I used to carry every single Galaxy Note from the 2 all the way up until the 9. And, like this last couple of years, it's not been as interesting. But what's happened to the buzz with Samsung? Like, where's all the leaks and all the cool, interesting things about the upcoming phones? Well, for number one, there's already kind of a rumor that the Galaxy Note version, the Note 21, I guess is what it would be, may not even come out this year. So with that, there's no like leaks about it. Certainly nothing that's bubbling to the surface like all the leaks for everything that Apple is going to release in the next couple of weeks or has released in the last couple of weeks. There's constant leaks left, right, and center. And there's tons of people watching that content. And for me personally, really one of the main reasons I don't cover a lot of Samsung stuff at the moment is because there's not a lot going on. The Pixel, which was just leaked recently, is interesting, but as I've said a bunch of times on this channel, the Pixel really doesn't matter. And I don't mean to say that it's not a good phone, it's just they don't sell a lot. And I've been proven right time after time. People will hate on the comments in the first couple of days, later find out that phone is nowhere to be seen in the top 10 sales of phones. It just never is. So really, that only leaves Samsung to talk about. And if they're not releasing phones or products that are of interest, it's a lot of Apple. There is some information about the newest couple of tablets from Samsung coming out. And I actually do like Samsung tablets a lot. The quality is great. It's some of the best Android tablets you can buy. And the next version of the S7 tablet, which I guess will be the S8, should be a monster. There's actually a rumor of the largest version of it being like 14 inches big, which is kind of ridiculous. We don't need a 14-inch size tablet. That's a laptop. And while it is one of the best Android tablets you can buy, the reality is even Google gave up on tablets. Like, they don't even support tablets. And most of the apps don't support tablets, or at least none of the good ones. At least that's one of the things that iPad does have over top of Android tablets, especially once Google stopped creating their own tablets. It just was like they even threw in the towel on this. And as far as laptops go, Samsung did just release a couple of pretty stunning looking laptops. And, some of the capabilities you can do with them and some of the features are very ecosystem kind of friendly. In other words, kind of like an Apple ecosystem. I tip my hat to them. That's great. And earlier this year, the Samsung Galaxy S21 was one of the best looking phones they've released in a long time. At least the Ultra was. And definitely a great performing phone. They could be one and done this year, but this would be one of the first years where that would be the case. And I still don't think it is the case. Meanwhile, Apple has been releasing all types of products using their new M1 processor. And this is a huge deal. They're showing that a mobile processor can work in desktop computers too. Listen, this is revolutionary, and if Samsung doesn't come up with their own version of this, they're going to fall way, way behind. And that's not just a Samsung thing. Intel and AMD need to do the same darn thing, because let me tell you something, Apple's out there eating people's lunch. They've come out with what is probably the best price for performance laptop, period, the MacBook Air with the M1. You can put Windows on that. You don't even need a Windows-only laptop anymore. And this thing is phenomenal. I've done a bunch of videos about that. Hit subscribe if you've seen those, or even if you haven't, and make sure you check them out. Some really great videos about the M1 series of tablets and laptops and everything. And I will indeed cover more Samsung stuff as soon as Samsung gives us something to talk about. And I hope that's actually very soon. For me, the only thing left that's of any interest with Samsung, at least in my mind, are the foldables. And thank goodness they at the very least have that on lock. The Z Flip and of course the Fold are two of the most spectacular phones that I've ever used. I've actually reviewed both on this channel. So of course, if you want to go back and look at those videos, you can check those out. I did the Amazon renewed version of the Z Flip, and I straight up bought the Fold 2, which was really expensive. But I will hand it to Samsung. They are doing things that, well, no other manufacturer is really doing in the way that they're doing it. Sure, there are other foldable phones out there right now. A lot of them don't have either Google or there's some other type of weird issue that makes them not as good as the Z Flip or the Fold. And I'll tell you this, the third version of the Fold may be one of the best folds ever. If they're able to get rid of the crease, which is what some recent rumors indicate, this could be the most exciting phone of the year. And I will tell you right now, I will cover it. I might not buy it because it's probably $1 million. And herein lies the problem. They have such an interesting line of phones that are rather expensive. Now, in fairness, the technology actually dictates that it should be that expensive. But it doesn't matter. If people can't afford it, then it's just something nice to look at on YouTube. And you might sell like 1,000 of them because it's the end of a pandemic and people still don't got a lot of money. Amazingly enough, most people don't have a lot of money because they've been buying a lot of Apple stuff. Have you seen how many products and how much money Apple has made in the last quarter and a half? It's absolutely ridiculous. They will charge too much money for products, and I call them out every single time they do, and still they're able to sell a ridiculous amount. They just released the iPad Pro with the M1 chip. I did a couple of videos on that. You can check those out and links in the description below and in the end screen. And it's too expensive for what it is. Now, they have something coming up called WWDC, which may unlock more features for it, allow you to do more professional level stuff. But they literally just came out with a tablet that goes up to $2,000. Bro, a tablet for $2,000. The audacity of that. The audacity. Samsung, on the other hand, has some really great tablets at different prices. And, here's the thing. Their build quality is excellent. And Android is fun to deal with, I guess. But there's just nothing interesting coming out of Samsung until the foldables come out. And then the problem is, the foldables are going to be a blip, a moment. Interest for a little while. The leaks, the reviews, and maybe a little bit after. But then after that, people aren't going to watch that content anymore. And if there is no Note this year, Samsung may have one of the shortest news cycles years ever. Like, usually you talk about them throughout most of the year. But it could be the S21 Ultra, a little bit of their tablet, of their laptops, and then the Fold series. And then that's it. The interest in Apple products has lasted for the last several months because of leaks and speculation. Also, the M1 processor and the next versions of it have also spawned a lot of conversation because it's so evolutionary. It's really moving the needle. Samsung needs something just like this. And I actually have a kind of an idea for them. And this will go against what a lot of people might think is a good idea, but at this point they need all the press they can get. Samsung, you need to start leaking stuff. And I mean like legitimately hands-on leaks. We've seen this before where entire phones were leaked or something from Samsung long in advance. And we haven't really seen that lately, which to me indicates we're not really close to anything in particular coming out, which is worrisome. We are literally halfway through 2021, if you can believe that. And there hasn't been hardly a peep from Samsung at all about a new phone. Their mid-range phones have launched and all that sort of jazz, but let's be honest, that's not going to excite me or you. We're not buying those, or some of us are, I guess, but we're certainly not interested in watching a whole bunch of videos about them. I personally want to see the foldables and hopefully the next Note. But Apple has a tremendous amount of products that span all types of genres. It's not just headphones or phones or laptops or tablets or desktops. They have all of that stuff and more. And Samsung actually does too, but you just don't hear them kind of pump it up in any significant way. And I think maybe leaks could be the answer to that. We need some excitement, Samsung. You need to step it up. And as a former Samsung user of a lot of their products, I'm actually rooting for them. I want them to leak stuff. I want to get excited once again. And I think really there's only one thing I'm going to get excited for, like I said, foldables. Samsung needs to get on the ball. This year, I think they've really dropped the ball, at least so far. In the last couple of years, they've charged too much for too little. This year, they made a good change in the S21 series of phones. I think it's a great phone. I think they've done a spectacular job with it. But the reality is, after that, I can't find Samsung hardly anywhere. On Twitter, most places on YouTube, is absolutely dominated by Apple. Apple's kind of killing Samsung this year. And Samsung better start fighting back. But what do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Has Samsung finally given up the ghost? Is it over for them? A spoiler alert, no. They're still the #1 manufacturer of phones in the world. So no, they're not going anywhere. Hopefully, though, they'll bring us some more exciting stuff. And we'll talk about it here. Peace and love.